Welcome back to Ben's Garage. Not done my hair this morning. Today we're talking about the GVM GP-80QD version 2 Motorised Slider. On the live stream the other day, somebody gave me a super chat and I was explaining that all money that I receive from YouTube, whether that's through AdSense or super chat donations or anything like that, all that money I put straight back into the channel. So that's whether it's buying new gear, anything like that. As I say, before I even got back into YouTube big time, we'd already got a decent camera. We'd got the drone and bits and pieces. I just wanted to sort of up the production a little bit. So I thought, well, this slider will be good. I've done a lot of reviews on it, so I'm not going to do an unboxing. I'll tell you what it is. It's a carbon fibre slider, carbon fibre rails. It slides backwards and forwards. You can adjust the rails, the parallax things, so you can pan and tilt. Wasn't doing that then. I'll put the camera on it in a minute and show you. It just adds a little bit of something to the videos. My videos are not the best of quality. I do try to do them as best as I can. They are getting a little bit better than they were, but I just thought I'd add a bit of kit to make it a little bit more interesting for you all at home watching. And so we're going to be incorporating this slider into a few of the videos where for like talking head, it can be moving backwards and forwards. And I'm going to get into doing the time lapses again. Now with the slider, you get a whole load of cables to plug into the camera. I don't think there's one for my camera because my camera's a bit old school. But I have got a lead that plugs into the thing, and then there's an extension cable which I think my lead will plug into. That comes with this. You get the controller, you get a battery which is on charge, you get a cable which is like a mini XLR to the motor and a USB to the controller, and this one actually comes with a swivel head. I'm going to put it on and try it and see if it's any good. Now with the swivel head, I'll be back. The swivel head is like, I think it's the Arca Swiss type plate. My main tripod is a Manfrotto. So I've got a Manfrotto. I don't want to be messing about with adapter plates. So what I've done is I've got a newer quick release plate. The camera that I'm filming on now is obviously Manfrotto. That goes on there. And also I've got a plate that came with it which goes into here as well. So everything's quick release and I can just bish bash bosh, job's done. So what I'll do, on the slider here, it's got an adapter on the actual thing if you want to put your camera straight onto there, which, you know, it's not going to work very well. So there is an adapter which will go into the swivel head. So we'll just put the adapter back on and then we'll screw the swivel head on. It's quite well built for the money. I was looking at motorised sliders and they can get quite expensive. So that's that on. You can tighten it up, stop it moving round. There's lots of functions on it. This obviously swivel ball head. So now that's on, I can put my adapter on, which just slots in there like that. I think it'll probably be best if I put it the other way around because otherwise that's going to get in the way. Tighten that up nice and tight. All these adjustments are so now what I can do is I can put my main camera on. Well, it's not my main camera. This is an old Olympus DSLR. Why is it not going in? There we go. On these newer things, they're a bit tricky because it's quite a heavy camera as well. Lock that off. Lock that off. So this is the camera on now, and as you can see, as it slides from side to side, the camera points to the middle. So this is going to be fantastic for time lapses. So what we can do, we can alter these rails the other way, and it will go outwards to 120 degrees. So set like that, that's all the way out, as you can see. As it comes back across, it swings round and goes back out again, like so. Or if you want, you can just set the bars in the middle. There are marks on the end so you can see, and it basically that keeps it straight and just goes side to side. As I say, this is an old camera. People with big hands. This is the Olympus E3. It's not micro 4/3. This is the original 4/3 camera. This is what I'll be using for my time lapses. There is a time lapse program on the controller. I should be able to connect up using my own lead and this lead, and we can get some nice time lapses. So we can incorporate the time lapses into our videos. Plus, I can do talking heads videos with it panning backwards and forwards. I'll just go and get the battery and we'll plug it in and see if we can get it working. So I've put the battery on. Battery goes in the controller. Controller plugs into the motor. Set the A and B point, which you have to do every time you switch it on and off because it doesn't keep the memory. Easy job to do. I'm not going to go into it because there's so many videos on YouTube about how to do it. And I've just set it on auto loop. At the moment I've got the DSLR on it. This DSLR doesn't do any video whatsoever, so it's only still pictures. This one I shall only be using for time lapse. But what I will do in a minute is I'll get it all rigged up on the video camera there, and we'll have a bit of a look-see. So far, so good. It's smooth. It is pretty quiet. There is a little bit where there is a little bit of noise, but I did notice that on this, somebody else complained about this, that where obviously the thing has been stored, you know, packaged up for sale, where it's been stored in a warehouse, the belt has got a couple of little kinks in it, and it just gets to a certain point where it can be a little bit more noisy. Now I've changed the head. The ball head wouldn't take the weight of this camera, but this camera is quite heavy and big. This is just a Yuntang cheap eBay video fluid head. The fluid stuff's started leaking out, so I will be getting a proper video head for it. But as you can see, it's going backwards and forwards lovely, and I can adjust the speed. We're at this at the minute 60%, so we'll crank it up to, that's 100%, which is probably going to be a little bit too fast for interviewing, talking head kind of videos, but you get the idea. I've set the pan, and it does the job lovely. There is a little bit of a scraping noise on it somewhere, which I'm going to investigate. But I've cranked the speed up so you can hear the motor a little bit. So we'll crank the speed back down again. We'll go for 50%. I'm sat here and I can hear it. I don't know if the microphone's going to pick it up. The test will be is if the microphone on the camera will pick it up as we're going backwards and forwards. So I'll get it rigged up on the other tripod and I'll do a piece to camera and we'll see if it picks up the noise. I haven't got a stabiliser arm on it. There is some threaded things underneath and I've ordered a stabiliser arm to come off one side and go down onto the tripod, just because the weight of the camera on the tripod, it might just upset it a little bit. So that's still got to turn up. But this is puckering. And this all comes from YouTube, which is basically you guys watching the videos, any donations on the super chats, which are really appreciated, and any merch that we sell. Merch, I hate that word. Any bits and pieces that we have for sale. All the money goes back into this sort of gear for better video. So hopefully, you know, we can up our game a little bit. We'll get some time lapses in when we're doing stuff outside and that. And so this is the GVM GP-80QD 2. So I'll get it set up on the tripod and pause. Basically, you should keep me in frame, but all the background will be moving, which, you know, some people might not like that effect. But I mean, this is at 50% on the controller. So we set the A/B points. I've just got to get used to the camera moving from left to right now, which is a bit odd. But I've got it set up on the old tripod. We've got a bit of a dodgy video head on here, so I will be looking at changing that out at some point. But it just gives it that bit of added dimension to the videos, you know, a bit of moving background. We'll have an experiment with it and see how it goes. It is a lot of gear to set up, but it's all worth it because I enjoy doing these videos and I enjoy the editing process. And then when I get feedback from all you lot, I enjoy that as well. So you don't have to use the whole width of the slider. Obviously it's a bit extreme going from left to right like this. So you got to keep your eye on the ball. But I think it's a fantastic bit of kit. I've got an old manual slider which I did use in some old videos, but the carriage that moves along was really loose and you had to sort of really hold it and slide it along. You did get the good effects. It got nice smooth footage going across. But this one's motorised. You can just leave it on. And later on, I'll probably see about getting the other camera and trying the time-lapse settings on the controller. See if I can get my head around those. Because what I really want to do is try some Astro time lapses. Because here, the street light outside the house goes off at 11 o'clock at night. And when it goes off, it is so dark out here that you can see everything in the sky. So I really want to get some Astro time lapses done. I can just see it dipping now on one, because it is quite heavy with the fluid head and the camera and everything. It's quite heavy, and the fluid head on the tripod has just got a little bit of give in it. So as it's coming back, it's sort of lifting back up again. But I say I've got to, if I push that's it. Look. And there's a lot of adapters and stuff in between the tripod and the thing, so that all adds to it. But so far I can't hear it. Whether I can hear it on the computer when it's done. But yeah, fantastic. And it even turned up while we're on lockdown, so we can have a bit of a play with that. And the Hobbit's back in now with the dogs.
The dogs are still out shouting at the puppy.
All right. So that's it for this video. Just thought I'd show you the new bit of kit that we bought. And this is all thanks to you guys for watching the videos, donating on Super Chat and all that kind of thing. So the money, we try and put it all back into the channel just to improve it, because that's what it's all about. So I hope you like this video. Please click the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. And from me and the Hobbit, who's over there, she ain't going to be in the camera.
That's how wet it is outside still.
I ain't going to be getting on the floor then.
No.
It's bye for now.